There's normally kahaha and pua inside of this pond because there's not really any predators. And these fish like to come and sit here because there's a lot of food. Yeah. It's called chain diatoms. It's called that because when it's high tide, it's full of bubbles and oxygen, so at high tide, it floats up to the surface. That's why it's called chain diatoms.
For many years, my students would come here to Haleolono, and this would be their classroom. And teaching them science, teaching them to engage and be with the environment was a challenging task. And I didn't realize how different the rearing of our students were from our generation.
Because in my generation, it was protesting. In their generation, it's protecting. I think some of that is due to the movement around education. So where I would like to see graduates go is that we no longer need to protect, because that's the way we think in the decision-making seats already.
Olelo ho ke olu he haka mana o Haleolono?
E ho'onui na i'a?
Ai, hiki a mako ke hana I ke la?
Ai.
Puf he e ia ka i'a.
Naloko i'a. Apo.
Apo, ai, a ka e hele ana oko I ka loko i'a o? O?
Olono.
Haleolono, ai, polole. So what is Papakumakawalu? In this space and time, Papakumakawalu is the process by which we relate to, engage with, and understand our natural environment through a process of being a kilo, being able to observe what's around us. This is Papahuli Lani, or this is Papahuli Honua, this is Papahanaumoku, and this is how all of those things interrelate with each other. And being able to makavalu, or analyze what is happening in the environment, analyze things that we're pulling out from our traditional data sources.
What's different, and I see with our keiki now, is that they look at the world through those lenses. So when they look at the sky, they're not just seeing clouds. They're seeing that that's a part of Papahulilani. That's a keao pu'a. And so if a keao pu'a is up there, then I can assume that the weather is going to change.
So the process leads us to new or heightened knowledge. But the key with Papakumakawalu is that it is a process. It's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's not, okay, I'm going to find the answer to this. I'm going to use my phone to find something. I'm going to look at the latest app. With Papakumakawalu, you become the app. You are the app. These kids had an iPhone in their hand before they could walk, and everything is technology based and everything is instantaneous answers. Google, yeah. But anybody can put anything on the internet, and when it's so quickly attained, I think there's a lack of appreciation for the process that it took to get that knowledge, and so we try to rear our students to be able to engage in the process of Papakumakawalu. How do we arm our students with the knowledge, the skill sets to face the huge problems that's going to come their way long after I'm gone?
What's at stake is my and your genealogy. What's at stake is my people, our people. What's at stake is my Mauna Kea, your Mauna Kea. To me, my whole world is at stake. if I don't participate in making this live.
So it's all right there. The second page is a little bit more place to plan. So how do we reteach the content in a new way? So however you guys want to lead that discussion amongst yourselves. And then this bottom part over here.
What we're creating is not, I can't give you a book and say, here, now you can go do what we're trying to do here in building those skills. So as a kumu, you have to be able to see how and value the memorization of an oli, not just because it's ceremonial, which is a value, or not just because it's a pretty song, or not just because it's what we do, but because it is scientific data in this repository, because we're an oral tradition of oli. And so kumu have to look at it differently, and they have to look at it as if it's scientific data and be able to provide that to students, which then requires you to not have to have all the answers. And for a kumu being comfortable with rolling like that. And also with a kumu being able, we call it, be able to throw out palu. So you have to be able to facilitate the learning. You have to know what kind of questions are you're gonna pose to students in order for them to start to get that brain working, to start to synthesize information.
You can tell from the water on the rocks, how the water used to be higher, how the rocks are wet above the water line. And you can tell from by the makaha, there's all grass and leaves and stuff trying to flow out of the makaha. It's getting pulled out to sea by the tides, which means the tides are going out and down. This is the Vayakane. It's a freshwater spring. It comes from the springs from Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa.
That practicum that comes from our kupuna, their thought process, their methodology, their engagement with the environment, sustained our people in this place for generation after generation. There wasn't any need for the word conserve because they never got to that point. Yet we're in a constant state of conservation and restoration in this time period. And so it's gonna take that thought process to flip things back the other way, or to start to flip things back the other way, because the islands are not getting any bigger, and the resources are not going to magically multiply. And so we have to really figure out how are we gonna maintain the generations below us on this one island. And I think that's a big part of how it's changed me in my overall objective in teaching.
I know Kupono always is telling me stories about different fish that he saw, and he always saw a 6-pound kumu in the pond, and act like I don't believe him. But yeah, no, they definitely they got a lot of good experiences, and I think they're going in the right direction.
I think the promise is that we will create a community of caring and participatory individuals who are prone to action, because not only do they care about their own nuclear family, they care beyond the walls of their house, they care out into their community, and they care out into their environment. When you say ohana, I mean, you have to extend that to the kumula'au. You have to extend that to the kai. You have to extend it beyond your nucleus family or even your extended genealogy. That's the promise. And to me, that's a good thing, because whatever race or political place that you come from, being connected and having that true sense of aloha, which comes with responsibility, means that I'm watching out for you too.